look back, this is the, I keep forget, 5,000 foot, 5,000 foot section, and it stopped right around there, right around where we see the levee stop here. And when this crevasse here is a crevasse that we had then run out of the DBA 105B blasting agent. And so we locally procured blasting agent from a local rock company that met the specifications according to their demolition experts. So when this section was executed, it executed fine in terms of we got a good detonation and good clean detonation. There was no left residue on this section of levee. However, what it did not do was it did not fracture the levee deep. What it did was it basically just blew off the top. So it blew off the top, and the only portion that really fractured was this portion here. And so you can deduct that part of the reason that there was such a large scour hole here is because the force of the water was, we had narrowed it into the very constricted, and it was just digging into this area here. If this 5,000 feet had executed as designed, it would most likely, we may not have had such a huge scour hole sitting right here. So it is what it is. So today we've come in here and basically we made the decision when we couldn't get moisture content out of the borrow area that Milas gave us, that that we were going to start harvesting some of the drier material, and I know it doesn't look dry, but it was drier, off the edge of the levee, because we knew that when we come back and actually rebuild the levee that it will have to come up and out to get to the 62.5 foot authorized level. So we knew that we were going to have to do some more sloping on this side, so we went ahead and harvested the dirt and put it on a levee over here.
Okay.
Probably took all your thunder.
Is there anything left to say, Johnny? Well, then let me ask a question. How do you place this plastic material? What is it, visqueen or poly or whatever? How do you place this on the levee? What's the technique? Because that does not look easy.
No, sir. It takes about 8 personnel to shake it all out. It gets laid.
So it's hand placed.
Yes, sir. Hand placed, weighted with sandbags. They had a small, what do you call it? Milas, what do you got there?
Ranger.
Ranger. Yeah, Ranger like that. We load up sandbags in the back to take it out there and weigh it down with that. So, yes, sir. This area out here, that existing blue hole is out there just beyond the silt curtain. What we did is we separated the previous blue hole from the blue hole from 2011 with that. What that does is it prevented sediment from going back into that. This spot is unique. This spot we were. With this repairs here, we were not able to get a categorical exclusion from NEPA requirements. We were required to do an environmental assessment. While working through the environmental assessment process, submitting it for comments, we were not able to start construction until we were not to even select a course of action and begin construction. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're already ahead of me. So educate me on the categorical exclusion issue, because I don't have any background on that. On this issue, I mean, I know what a categorical exclusion is, but in terms of this project.
The whole Mississippi River and tributary system, there was an EIS done many years ago.
Programmatic EIS.
And it was an exclusive EIS for the entire system. When we came to this situation here, because we already had an existing blue hole, and now the scour had joined and created another blue hole, we could not, we had to do a separate environmental impact statement on that.
It became classified as waters of the United States, so we were required to go through the NEPA process, even though...
Just that little area there.
Just that area.
Yeah. The scour hole also extended beyond the limits of the project itself. It went outside the original project alignment. So between the connection to the environmentally sensitive area, this is habitat for Pallas sturgeon, and the going outside the limits of the excavation.
So what happened was what happened,
But you had to
what
wait
happened
for it.
was as soon as we decided to do this,
Mitigation.
and we get ready, the lease turns show up in Nest.
And that added how much to your timeline?
Well, it was concurrent with the EIS process, and then we didn't have any pallid sturgeon found that I know of. that were out there. So we didn't have any pallid sturgeon. So once the lease turn left, we completed the EIS and we got an all clear. We were able to move forward very quickly.
Yes, sir. We began.
Now this is a key area because the direction for the MRC was to maintain the original alignment of the levee.
I understand.
And so that's why that's the other driving factor, because our original intent was to go around, basically. Which, if you look at this levee from an aerial view, wherever they crevassed the levee back in '37, they merely went around the blue hole. And I can't remember the number, but it's in the teens or 20s of the areas that have gone around the blue holes on the levee
This is the
system.
one we're looking at, sir. You see the levee alignment goes around this. There's also a scour hole here. Levees were built around.
And that was not for environmental reasons, just for practical reasons. of
Practical
trying to build
reasons.
into a blue hole.
And
Environment wasn't an issue back there.
and so that was kind of the
Well, maybe it was, we just didn't pay
We
attention
didn't
to it.
have it.
it was kind of the normal practice was just to build around a blue hole,
Yeah.
but we were
Good
directed
fishing
not to.
spots. Okay.
And there was a kernel, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was an option or a potential option to get some sort of emergency declaration to forego the environmental study, but the fear was on this particular issue, it could invite litigation that would potentially delay reconstruction even longer.
Yeah, it wouldn't have met the criteria.
That's right. We explored that, but it didn't meet the criteria. But what was very interesting was that we actually
your battles.
received 0 comments on the EIS for the blue hole. So, I mean, EPA gave us some comments, but there wasn't anything that would have stopped us from moving forward.
Let me ask you a question. Are you gonna move the levee back into the industry?
Are we going to do what?
Are you gonna put it back where the imprint where the levee was? Because that's not what we're
We tried to get it as best we could.
That's fine. I mean, that's just a question.
No,
Not.
We're going to try to get it back, Milas, but I mean, that's basically the toe of the front line of the levee now as we run down this one. So
RD,
it'll come
can-
up and back.
Can you explain to me the, because I don't recall being part of these deliberations. If I was, shame on me. Can you explain to me
Oh, I understand. Yeah. I just wondered if they was gonna put it back or not.
logic or concerns
That's
of the
fine.
commission with any deviations from the original?
That was not a full action of the commission, it was on the recommendation of the staff.
Okay.
They felt like the setback here would cause an environmental problem. Back in the original level, they felt they had the congressional authority to go on the original alignment. And if we deviated from that, again, unlike
could
it
have
was
caused
some issues that was in 37, the Corps came in and set them back like you and I would. But the recommendation to us at that time was that would cause a big deal to try to set it back environmentally. And our best way forward was to connect.
Understand.
It was not a commission vote or anything, sir. You wrote
Well, I knew about it, but it was kind of a general awareness more than kind of a.
that was the reason, was that it could hold up.
Yeah. Okay.
We started construction on September 13th. We dredged for about 23 days from the 8th to the 31st of October. We moved over 300,000 cubic yards of sand, pumped about through pipe over half mile to 3/4 mile from the river, from one of the chutes between Island 8 and the mainland. To fill this up, once we filled that up, we started moving clay on top of this. We had a borrow pit about 15 miles away from here. We were able to, Mr. Wallace provided an additional borrow pit here. We shipped it to. It's much better material.
Was the scour hole in the imprint of the levee line?
Through it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Sir,
It
if you,
actually started.
You see this,
If you
you
look at
see
the
the
berm,
pond right there?
yeah, the berm
That's-
around that pond,
That's
Yeah.
basically where we pushed up a berm around that.
survive against the fall?
We don't know.
And what was the depth, Miles?
It was 50 foot below ground level.
Below ground level.
Below ground.
And out at the edge was still 17
Yeah, it was
feet.
17 foot at the shallowest.
You look at them from an aerial view, you see the old blue hole sitting like this, and this one sitting right in front of it.
What causes these blue holes? I mean, here was the scour. Naturally, what causes it?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Natural
This one way-
weakness
way
in
back.
the
Well, here's the thing about it.
geology there, and it just scours it out.
It's where they actually blew the levee.
blew it.
Crevassed in 37.
Oh.
Right, see, if you look at the alignment of 11 now, you can see that bend going around where that
Right,
dump
right.
truck's at.
It used
That's
to
where
go
that
right.
blue hole. It used to go straight.
Straight.
And if you walk over there, you'll see the old levee on the other side in those tree lines.
It actually wasn't blown. It run over it. It was blown here about 5 miles up the river towards what's called Dorena. It was blowed there in 2 or 3 places. When we passed the hog farm up there, it was blowed there. You know, all the sand where the hog farm is. There's sand out here too. And what it done, it was so close to it when it blowed the levee, it run over this levee trying to get back into the river. My dad, we've had this
Like a
down
hole
over
on the
since
south
it's
side of
been
the
clear.
levee.
And there's actually houses floating through this deal. And that's kind of what happened here this time. Only thing, when you blowed it, he went to running in.